Alright, you guys ready to go? This is going to be... I'm not sure. It will be one of a longer review, I would say, because there's a lot to go into the board. Um, yeah. Also, before we start... No, never mind. I'll tell you guys after. But I'm gonna take off my IEMs for now. But can't wait for this keyboard. Yeah. Don't forget. Okay, I won't. Okay, but here is the keyboard we're going to be building today. So I'm sure most of you have been waiting for this build, but this is the Event Horizon. For those who don't know this keyboard, it has been in the making for the last 2 years. It is a collaboration board by a few couple people. So the designer is MVKB, so Max Volti. Also Protozoa and Salvin. PCBs by Yankart, but the three main people are MVKB, Protozoa, and Salvin. This has been, I would say this board is more of like, I haven't ever seen a board quite like it. So it's interesting because it plays around with like the different textures. It's a very beautiful board, right? The raffle is actually already open and it closes on the 25th, and there's 2 versions you can get. But if you're interested in this board, the raffle is open right now. But here it is. So I did open it just to make sure it was all good, handy dandy. There are also some what is it? There's some things here that will be different for the production unit. So this is one of 3 of the review units. So thank you. Thank you, Max, for picking me to be one of the reviewers. I really appreciate it. But just looking right here, so this is Salvin and this is MVKB. Here's the case right here, and then here's all the parts. So you got all the stickers. Oh, this is for Captain Sterling. I'll set that aside. Let's see, you got these. So all the components are right here. I didn't deliver. But let's look at the board. So it was like neatly wrapped, but I opened it. I tried my best not to like rip the tissue paper, but it's a bit hard because I feel like with tissue paper, you either are the type of person who like wants to just rip it, or the type of person who doesn't want to rip it. And I'm the type of person who doesn't want to rip it. But yes. So here is the board. Really, really neat board. So let's just look at it. 2 kinds of people in the world. Rip it! Oh my god, you guys are savages. I'm just gonna place that there. Okay. So, this is the Event Horizon. Whoa. So just wait. What are we waiting for? Waiting. So the thing with this board, as it was explained to me, is that it's a board about contrast, right? So you have the coated, you have the smooth, you have the dark, you have the light, raw material versus like coating material. And so there's a lot of the board that's kind of opposites or contrast of each other. So this is the Event Horizon colorway. So this starts at 490, but there's another one that is called Supermassive, and that is like just brass. And that one is 890. Okay, so there's quite a bit of a jump from the 2. It's heavy. This is a heavy board, and there are a lot of components to it. Yeah, so I would say this board is more of a board that, you know, while it while you can use it as a keyboard, it also serves as an artistic piece in many ways that you can look at it and be like, wow, that is a nice keyboard, right? So it is definitely going to be on the higher end. So once again, this is the Event Horizon, and this is starting at 490. So this one, it's a raffle. There's 250 units for this one. And then for the Supermassive, that one is going to be limited to 50. So about 300, but this board has been in development for a long time, and it's finally here. When I talked to the designer, I guess one of the biggest things that they were trying to figure out was how to do like the contrast between like the texture, the smooth, and how to incorporate all of that together. And I guess him and Salvin figured it out, and so that's why it is here today. But let's just look at it. Hello. So here's the top. So here you can see there is a separate cluster. The main part is going to be right here. Yeah, I'm number 3. You do have this top left hand logo right here. So there's a lot to point out here. So obviously there's the textured and then the non-textured. You have the separate column. You have these on the front. There is a blocker as well. And then we'll look at the side. Here's the side. And then here is the back. Yeah, so I have number 3 of 3. So on the back it says Beyond the Stars, Into the Uncharted, Event Horizon Review Unit, and then those are the 3. MVKB, Protozoa, and Salvin. That's a lot of feet. Yeah, so the back weight has actually changed a lot from what it initially was. So before it was just like the 4 feet. But having this many feet just basically means that your keyboard's not going to move, especially being like such a hefty board and using just like 4 small feet. It's a very high chance that the feet are going to come off. But in this case, like you don't really have to worry too much about that. But yeah, there are a lot of screws. But I mean, I think the back engraving is pretty neat. But yeah, so here's the back. So here you see it is the 3 of 3. I think Alex had number 1, Clack had number 2, and I have number 3. So here is the centered USB port, centered lower USB port. Yeah, and here's the front. So just looking at this, right, you can already see that this top piece, right, you don't really see this top piece when you look at the side or at the back or really in the front, right? They do a pretty good job of whenever you look at one end, it is just the texture. However, when you look at the top, you can then see the contrast. Ooh, pretty neat. I love everything about the back of the board. Yeah, so this has actually changed from what it was initially, but this is art for sure. Yeah. The contrasting finish is crazy. Yeah, so this board is basically contrasting themes. So you have textured versus smooth, you have raw versus coating, you have light versus dark. So that's kind of the theme you have going on here. But yeah, so I linked the website into I linked the website in the build command that kind of describes everything that you may or may not want to know about the board. But here's the interesting thing. Well, actually, I'll just show you the rest before I like get into it. So the PCB is actually by Yankar. It just has the Wilbur. Yeah. Hey, what's up? Press C. Okay, so here is the PCB, and here's the plate. So the first thing I noticed whenever I was looking at the board is that the PCB, you have the main one right here, right? And then you actually have a separate PCB for this part right here. So the two have actually been separated. Instead of doing like one large PCB, yeah, it's separated. Pretty neat, right? So I don't know if this is the final PCB, but yeah, so you can see it is designed by Yankart. And look. Whoa. But you guys didn't expect that from the back, did you? Whoa. Yeah, so here you have the JST, and then you have the connector for the side, and then for the main soundtrack. Thank you for the 10 months. Hello. Yeah, here's the back. There is a physical reset button. No LEDs, and there is an indicator though for the caps lock, as you can see right here. But yeah, pretty standard layout. Boop, boop. Totally no need to do that. Yeah. Neat, right? So this is actually a hot swap PCB. So we can technically do foam, or I say foam, this is like silicon. So we can do silicon, no silicon. But yeah, so this piece is separate, as you can see right here. Right? Separate. Okay. Let's see. Am I missing? Okay. So since it's hot, so could we try all the comments? I feel bad because I hopped into a call and I typed out all these like details about the board that I wanted to talk about and that I talked about with the designer, but now I I don't remember where I saved it. And I'm like really, really sad because I typed up a lot of stuff and then turns out your girl saved it somewhere, or I was so tired that I didn't save it. I don't know which it was, but basically I had a bunch of notes about the board and like I did it on Notepad. Cause like you could go to like the reset, right? Um Check open reset. Well, the thing is like I talked to him a while ago and I actually I I thought I maybe saved it under like a keyboard thing, but I looked through my folders and I couldn't find it, and because I talked to him like quite a while ago. It's no longer in my recent, and I also think I might not have saved it because I thought, okay, I'm gonna build it in the next like 3 days, and like everything is fresh in my mind. But then it got delayed, and then now I'm just like, I asked a lot of questions, and oops, sorry. And so hopefully I remember everything that I asked slowly over time. Hello, Clack. How you doing? How are you doing? Yeah, we're building this. Okay. But yeah. So the board is there are two mounting styles. So you have dampened O-ring, and then you have dampened bumper mount. So let me see. It's right here. I'm doing wonderful. That looks sick. Yeah, this is a pretty crazy keyboard. So some notes to make is that my O-ring is super glued together. Whenever the production unit is produced, you guys will have like custom O-rings, but this is kind of what he had to do for now to make like the custom O-rings. So don't worry about it. Yeah, it does. That's the neat thing. The separate side is a different cluster, or the cluster is a separate PCB. Yeah. So that is one thing to note, is that whenever you get your unit, this will be custom O-ring. It's not gonna be super glued like this, okay? You'll also get a custom carrying case. And then the O-rings are going to be black, before I forget. So the O-rings won't be super glued, and it will be black. Let's see. Custom carrying case. Oh, so the plate that I have is Cerakoted, and so it makes it like a little thicker. But for the production run, it will be ano. But we can look at this plate. So following the theme of the front, as you see right here. So you also have that theme reoccurring right here. Nice plate. That's what the plate looks like. So hi Jason, how are you doing today? What's up? But yeah, so this board, two mounting styles. You have O-ring or you have bumper mount. Let's see. Anything else? Okay. I'm just looking at the product page because it basically has everything on there. But the reason why this board took so long to make is because the designer is trying to figure out how to do the textured versus the smooth, right? And then started talking to Salvin, and Salvin helped them figure out how to do this, right? So basically, this top part is machined, CNC machined by Salvin. Once this is finished, right, it then does the bottom. Well, actually, it might be better if I just like take it apart and show you all. That probably makes more sense, right? Let's see. I'll just open it, show you all. Let's see. Where is? I saw one earlier. This one? Are you? Yes. No. I have to whip out my Geon tool. Yeah, I have to whip out my Geon tool. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you too. This one? Or is this one better? No, this one. Okay, cool. Okay, so basically the process is that the top piece is CNC'd out, and then the piece that you see right here this part is then powder coated, and then they bake it to activate the wrinkles right here, right? That's not it. So that's kind of how they achieve that like texture. Oh, why is G on here? What the? Okay. Sorry, I didn't realize K-pop had somehow snuck into my 2000 mix. Why not? I didn't realize. Why not? Okay. What's wrong with Gigi? Nothing. Nothing. I wasn't expecting it. K-pop. Are they still making music? No, right? So while I'm taking the board apart, so basically there are 5 main processes. So the first is that the top part is CNC'd out, and then once that is done, the board is flipped, and then the bottom part is machined out, right? And then the board, so this part, is then shipped to B coating, where they powder coat the board and then they bake it to create these wrinkle effects, right? And then once the coating is done, right, the board is placed back into the CNC, right? And then that's when they start clearing off like the top ridge. And that's where you then see the two-toned part on the top of the board, right? And then basically after they machine out the parts from this main part, then they send it back to B coating to apply a clear layer, right? So that there's actually no raw alu parts. Or brass, depending on which one that you get. Okay. So here is the weight. Whew. So here's the weight taken off. Does have a lot of screws to keep it all in place, but here it is. And then here is kind of where you can see all the internals of this piece. Pretty cool, right? So here you can see this is where the daughter board would then go in. Results are really beautiful for sure, yeah. I actually, I think it'd be really cool to have a board like this. I don't know if I know any boards off the top of my head that have this kind of finish, but it feels really good, right? Feels really good. Yeah, very beautiful board. I will be using alu, right? That's a heckin' chunk. It is, yeah. So you know how I talked earlier about like the O-ring, and then there's also the bumper mount. So you actually can see where they incorporated that into the case and PCB. So here you can see it's right here. You see this little dip? So 3 on top. You see 3 on the bottom. Light blue. So it's just this little half circle right here. You also see it on the plate. So here's the plate. So here's the cutout, cutout, cutout. So you can see it. So it's something interesting because On the website says, while this is no means a new mounting style, there's a small twist that makes it unique because there are relief gaps in the plate, so you can see the relief gaps instead of filling it completely, which allow the sandwich to fully dampen vibrations instead of having the bumper bottom out against the plate. So to kind of combat the vibrations, there's been cuts made onto the plate right there. Poop, poop. So it's not connected. Side note, loving this playlist. This is my 2000 mix from Spotify. uh yeah. Okay, cool. So since the board is hot swap, we're just going to should we do foam or no foam first? College me seems seen, yeah. So the reason why I decided to use the parallel switches is because one of the designs from the designer saw a design from Parallel and thought it was pretty neat, and then incorporated it into his board with the like separate. And so I decided, oh well, I have parallel switches, so might as well use them too. So that is what we're doing. I don't know if these stabilizers have been tuned or not. I can check. But yeah. And there are some things that I wanted to tell you guys about the board that I did ask the designer. So I asked why this part, why they milled out this part. What do you mean? And he told me it was basically, you know, there was this big piece right here, but then it looked really plain. And so there was a board that he designed as a joke, a Krispy Kreme board where, you know, like the Krispy Kreme boxes has like all the dots. And I guess he decided to incorporate it here so that the front wasn't like boring. So that's why you see that's why you see all these here, and it's him taking inspiration from a Krispy Kreme board that he had designed. And then I want to show you guys the early production, or like the early versions of the board and of the back weight, and kind of how it changed over time, because I think that's like really neat to see as well. So let's see, right here. GMK dots. Should I use GMK dots? I could. Are the dots filled in with the finish too? No, so this top part is just milled out. So let's see. Resin fill those holes. Okay, so this is what the idea was at first. So definitely wanted to do like the two-toned board, but some things have changed, as you can see. So the first being is that, so while you see this two-toned right here, right, this part is now gone and replaced with the black tone. So you can see it right here, right? And they were able to figure out this process with the help of Salwin. So that's where it's different. And then if you look here, it's not quite as textured, and they also figured out how to do that finish. This is more of a rough finish of the board, but as you can see, there are no dots right here. So to kind of add, I guess, more flair to the board, these were then milled out, right? And then this is what the weight used to look like, right? But the issue with the board is that, you know, this is a very like heavy board, right? So with the 4 tiny feet, there's a good chance that, you know, the feet would come off and then it didn't quite quote match it. So decided to redesign the weight, add a bunch of feet to kind of accommodate for the board, but this is what the weight looked like before. But I guess with the weight, now you see that none of the design is actually interrupted, right? Because right here you can see the designs are interrupted, but if you look at it now, right, there's no interruptions. Neat. No interruption as in like there's not a design and then there's like a random screw hole. It's just the design is left untouched. Man, I'm so sad I can't find my notepad. I'm I'm legit gonna find it right after. Right after the stream, I'm just gonna like randomly, you know, go do something and I'm gonna be like, what is this? And then it's going to be the notepad. Like, did I delete it? Surely not. They deleted. Dang. Okay. I don't think I'm gonna find it. But yeah. Okay. But let's see if these are tuned. And then, so I'll try to do 4 builds. We'll see. We'll see. I am like a little tired. We'll do at least 3, okay? But if you have any questions, feel free to ask, and I can show you from the board if you would like to see it. You guys know I ended up playing Dave for like 4 hours yesterday. Okay. So looks like these have been trimmed. Nice. 4 hours after the stream. Yeah. 4 hours after the raid. I actually got to the DLC. Like, I think right after you left, Finn, I got to the DLC. I was gaming, yeah. Oh, I get to. So, Potato gave me one of these. She gave me 3 of these, right? They're different, but it's basically a Kirby to put my rings on. And then I cover it. Put on the side. So Kirby's holding my rings. Really cute. Yeah, I have 2 more. Thanks, Potato. Okay, this is good. This is good. What was their name before they became Maroon 5? This was a trivia question yesterday. Balloon 5? Maroon 4? Oh my gosh, none of you remember. How could you guys? Cool. These fires are actually good. Bless. Kara's flowers. Okay, I'll listen to the music with you all. She will be loved, yeah. I don't even think this is the best Maroon 5 song. What do you guys think? I think the best Maroon 5 song is This Love. Oh, also, I forgot to mention because you don't see it here, but for the event horizon, this part is wrinkled, right? But for the supermassive, the finish on the top is it's a French word. It's called perlage, but basically it's where you make like indents into like the top, so little like circles, and then you just repeat that all over. So it looks textured. I'll show you guys. So you guys are like can kind of get an idea. Where is it? And so that's another reason why the supermassive is so much more expensive, is because it uses the finish is different on top, right? Let's see. Oh, sorry, I said that wrong. So basically, you see how this top part on the event horizon, so this part is lightly brushed, right? But then the top piece finish for the supermassive is going to be different, and it will have like the pearl pattern. So let me show you guys. So look at this. You see how the top, you can't quite see it in this photo, but the top piece is going to be textured, and then the technique they use is this. So you can see right here, you see how they kind of use this to then go around and create this texture? So that's another reason why the supermassive is, I would say, is also more expensive, because a lot more work goes into the top part being finished, right? So you can see this right here. So you see how there's that, yeah. You see this texture right here? The supermassive up here will have that as well. So you can see like right here, basically where the light hits it. So this will still be like the wrinkle texture, but then this top piece is going to be the perlage texture instead of this one that is slightly brushed. Before I forget to mention that, because I definitely will. I don't really like John Mayer. I don't know. John Mayer's like such a tool to me. Brass for days. Are you guys entering in for Event Horizon? I know there's been a lot of hype for it. Oh! Oh! Oh my gosh. Wow. You guys, I didn't post on social media. Why didn't anyone tell me? No one told me. Socials Patty. Entered, nice. Have you been waiting for it for a while? Cause you craves your stories. I did enter it for now. Need some RNG luck. Yes, been following for a while, but Max is such a good, helpful human. I want to support people like that. Yeah, Max is very, very nice. Um, I I mentioned how one day I would be potentially interested in like doing a keycap set, and he was like, "I will help you if you need any help," um, which like means a lot coming from someone who like has done multiple no and like has been in the design. Yeah, so if I ever do it, we'll see though. That's like a big if. Hold on. Ran out of 205G. I need to go grab some more. I have more. Well, I thought I had more. 205G, where are you? Alpha, were you here earlier? I actually don't remember you being here earlier. Was this your first time in chat this session? Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I just started. We're just doing stabilizers now. Stab contest your favorite? It's kind of neat, like, looking at the design of this board. Because I feel like you see two-toned a lot, but you don't see, like, dual textured a lot. Unless it's, like, the weight, right? Like, the case and the weight can be different, but you never really see, like, a case with multiple finishes, I guess. There's probably been a few done, but they're like rare. I've never really seen anything like this, though. I'd say this board is definitely more of like an art piece more than anything. A functional art piece. It's very beautiful. And I hope he has a successful raffle. Statement piece, yeah. This is Cuddy, right? It is, yeah. How was your birthday, Cordle? I hope it was good. When are we gonna listen? Kekaive whole stream? We could. Last night we were watching the JBBQ for dinner. I need someone to open a Chinese barbecue place in Austin and serve pitchers of juice. So from only walking, eating food. The restaurant we went to today for my cousin's birthday, it was good. It was like fancy food. It was like fancy southern food, right? Um, and I would say out of the 5 dishes, 2 were not very good, but the other 3 were like really, really good. Hello, optimistic. So we had it was nice. I I kind of got a little upset because I went to Lockhart with her and Connor, where we went to go eat barbecue and just walked around. And then she told us she had dinner plans at 6:30. So I was like, oh, okay. I just assumed like, oh, she's going with her friend or maybe a guy she's seeing. And I was like, on our way back, I was like, oh, who are you going with? Because I was just like curious. And she's like, no one. I'm going by myself. And then I just got so upset. I was like, you're gonna eat alone for your birthday dinner? Oh shoot. Trying to cut this a little bit more flat. Yeah, but thing is like she didn't ask me because she thought like, oh, I have my stream. But I told her, I was like, I will move my stream so I can eat with you. So we went together. I didn't want her to like eat alone. I I would have invited her to dinner, but she told me she had plans. So I was like, oh, okay, she's gonna go eat with her friends or something. Um, but yeah, we got to eat dinner. I'm a little bummed because so I bought her these shoes, but I needed to make sure it was like the right size. Um, and then I brought her there to try it on, and they were not the right size because they're European size. Because European is like slightly different sizing, right? And while I technically got the right size, it was didn't fit because the shoes were like handmade, and so what sucked was that the shoe her size was not in stock, and so I we have to wait until they get their next restock. I told her sorry. It's like sorry. I think I think Christmas shopping is one of the most stressful things to do. But at the same time, you know, like some people are like, just give me cash and I'll buy whatever I want. But at the same time, something about that feels like very like impersonal. I mean, I get why people might prefer that, but I think at that point I rather you just tell me what you want and then I'll just buy it for you. Instead of being like, oh, just give me cash or just give me a gift card. You have to know what you want though. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. You want cash to pay your bills. Okay, I mean, if you tell me that, like, give me cash so I can pay my bills, I'd be like, okay. I got a leather crafting set from my friends because I mentioned it once over dinner for friends thing. I wish I had, like, super good memory like that. Hi, Meep. My favorite is banks letting me know payment's been posted. Okay. Oh, sorry. Long day. Cinnabon thinks it's bussin'. I had for dessert this like ice cream sandwich, but the shell was like some kind of sesame based. It was pretty good. I made carrot cake for myself. Anyone wants some? Yeah, I'll take some. Sounds good. What kind of ice cream do you buy? I like vanilla bean. I like cutting fresh mangoes, vanilla bean ice cream, and condensed milk. So good. Butter pecan. That's what my mom likes. Hi, Biddy. What's up? Oh, can someone change my category for me? This is that time. Thank you. Oh, you're a pro at that. So fast. Incy's like, okay, that's the only thing I'm doing. Is anyone in the MVKB Discord? I forgot to post in there that I'm building it now. Modding tournament? How would that even work? Oh, that'd be a fun game. You have this like chat interface and you send a bunch of messages, and then you have to go through and like ban or time out like the sussy ones, and whoever does it the fastest, you win. Who can make the command faster? True. Rock, paper, play like papers, please. That'd be funny. I mean, if there's power washing simulators, surely there's a Twitch mod simulator. Got the backers unlocked. Okay, this is the last one, and then we're done. Oop. I thought Christmas was on like Sunday this year. I don't know why. But it's on Monday. So I guess Monday I just won't stream. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, we'll see, because I know people are gonna be busy for Christmas and whatnot. Okay, you guys want foam or no foam first? Foam? Okay. Well, it's not foam, it's silicone, but get it out of the way. Okay. I am Christmas Eve I'm going to my sister's and then Christmas Day I'm going to Connor's. Yo, what's up, Mason? I went to a vintage store and I got a vintage top. It's very reminiscent of my college days when I would go to Buffalo Exchange and buy crazy tops. You work on Christmas? No. It's a very floral. It's like apparently it's a shirt from the 90s and it's very florally. And I have other shirts like it too. That's fine. One thing I've never been able to like thrift properly are jeans. I just can't do it. I can do tops, but when it comes to like jeans, I don't know, it's just very hard. I know some people don't like thrifting because they believe it's like bad juju. I should go thrift shopping more. Um, it's bad juju because you could end up wearing something that someone like passed away in. Like that's why their clothes are being like donated and it's vintage. I actually I saw this thing on Twitter how this cat like there's this cat at a retirement home that apparently accurately predicted like 100 deaths and like researchers who study the cat thought that the cat could smell like the chemicals released by your body when like you're close to dying or something. And so the cat was kind of like the Grim Reaper. And anytime it like cuddled with you that night, like, or anytime I cuddle with you in your sleep, like you're probably gonna pass away soon. Wait, really? That's crazy. Yeah, crazy, right? I need a cat like that. Also, I'm sorry you're working on Christmas. I can smell kapus. Oh my gosh. So the switches in the plate they're gonna be really tight, and that's because um the plate is Cerakoted, but for the production run it's gonna be Anno. Just FYI. So you might see me struggling now, but it will be different for production run. I'm on call off break. No. It's like the cat. Luckily, it's not too cold, so people don't need their furnace fixed. How do you fix a furnace? I mean, I guess it depends on like what's wrong with it, but like I'm guessing it's like is it like a gas line thing? Or like how does I don't know much about furnacing, so sorry if I sound like ignorant. Usually the motor fried. Oh, so you just have to like change the part. So usually it's just like swapping a part out, right? But I guess you could say that about a lot of stuff. When it breaks, you just swap the part out, right? I wish I could swap out my bag with potato. Are you okay? You go to Flushing and get a massage. I'll go with you. Can you share your weak words? I don't have a keyboard. Thank you, Quirtle. Thank you. Thanks for the bits. I appreciate it. Or they shared it. Yeah, welcome back to New York. Sooner than later. Do this IRL, Patty? Thanks for follow. I don't drink soda. Do you guys know that? Okay, so I bought these Amazon noodles because I've been looking for these I've been looking for these very specific thick Asian noodles that you either make it yourself or it's like really hard to find like packaged, at least where I am. So I ordered off Amazon and it was pretty good. But they started making this like chili noodle because when I went to New York and I had it, it was like it's so good. But I haven't been able to like quite get the recipe right. Or I haven't found a recipe that I really resonate with, you know. Like they've all just been kind of like meh. But I I tried these new noodles from Amazon. This is the only place I could find it, like ordering it online, and I could get like same day delivery. But anyways, it's not bad. However, I've realized that eating so much like spicy chili garlic noodles has been like wrecking my digestive system. And so I like wake up in the middle of the night and my stomach's like it's really bad. Like my tummy is not happy, right? It's not good. It's like it's like I'm happy, but my stomach is not. But yeah, I'm about to just learn how to make hand pulled noodles myself and then make them at home. Or the knife cut noodles. Super tasty. Knife cut noodles. They're pretty good. Have you had them before, Avo? Okay, we're all gonna do a New York trip and we're gonna have knife cut noodles. Of course not. Oh my gosh. You didn't get them? You know, this song was from Spider. The first time I heard it was in Spider Man, believe it or not. I feel bad that who's the actor, Toby? Like, he's like made fun of so much now for the movies. I'm searching for a handful of noodles on the bay, yeah. Yeah, I think everyone likes, was it something Andrew? Is it Andrew Garfield? Yeah. Kind of worried because these are pretty tight fit. Um, Taking them out and then putting them back in. Definitely a workout. Yeah, it might be. I wonder if Clack and Alex ran into this too. I'm just trying to get them all like loosely in, and then I'll go back and like actually push them all in. Have you guys heard of dragon hair candy? Is it called dragon hair? It's like the candy that you pull. Dragon's beard. Okay, dragon's beard. Yeah. Yeah, like I watched some girl on TikTok say it's like you can do up to like 1 million iterations. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, Neo. Okay. My fingers are starting to hurt. That's why I have to use this cloth. But this will be fixed in the production runs, so you don't have to worry about this. But I have stronger fingers now because of working out. I worked out for the first time in a long time. It's like I've forgotten how to work out. Switch pusher? Is that an actual thing? Have they actually created that? Oh. Does it work well? It works well? You know, I went to go see Yellow Card like years after in like college, they had a mosh pit at Yellow Card. I was so shocked. Ooh. Okay. Cool. Let me look at this. Omni-type switch opener, switch pusher. Wow, it's on sale. Should I buy it? Uh, yes, it will save your thumbs. Okay. I don't run into this issue very often. I think the last time I had an issue was with Amano. Okay. You know, I I realized I have this antipode cloth, and I was like wondering where I got it from, because I actually don't own any antipode boards. And then I realized that this belongs to Joe. It belongs to Fat Joe. No, it belongs to Joe. Okay, so here is something that maybe might have been misleading, but I was calling this foam, right? But this is actually a silicone mat, and then this is what you would use for the bumper mount. Okay. Joe Mama! Right? So basically with this, it relies on the friction between the silicone mat and for these anchor points right here to keep it in place, right? So I just realized now that when I called it foam, it might have been like kind of confusing, but yeah. So sorry for confusing you all. But basically, earlier I said that there was going to be 4 builds, but it's actually only 2. this one. So actually, I'm gonna put the cable in first. Okay. So this is going to be one of the changes. Is that the JST cables are going to be better resized. Probably not long enough. Where is it? You have a big boy today? Yeah, we do. It's these. The designer is currently, I think, driving, and so usually it helps whenever the designer is around because they can like give more explanation on why they designed the board that the way that it did, and also like if I happen to like make a mistake, they can correct me. But I'm correcting myself right now. Is that I'm sorry I called it foam because it's not foam, it's silicone, and it acts as the second mounting for the oh jeez, because this board has two mounting styles, right? And so by using the silicone, it's the other mounting style other than O-ring. Yeah, the supermassive though, it has a lot going into it. For example, it is brass. The top part is also finished a little differently with perlage. Yeah, it's just going to be like a really hefty, heavy board. Patricia, is Arisa your favorite layout? Yeah, I would say so. About the same. Okay, cool. Oh. This is actually in raffle right now, so if you're interested, you can enter into the raffle. The raffle is open until the 25th. So the thing with both the mounting styles on this board is that it does rely on friction fit. Um, so that's with the silicone mat, you see how it fits in. It's like pretty tight fit. And then you might be wondering, well, how the heck do I take it out? And that's why this design is right here. You see this cutout? So with this cutout being right here, you can easily just push it out from the bottom and get it out, right? Instead of having to use, say, like tweezers or having like an anchor point. I guess you could use these dots as an anchor point to like help you pull it out, but then you can also like push it out from right here. So now, make sure to fit this in. Give me some spicy potato. Too late. Okay. Let's see, what is the best way to do this? I would guess maybe at an angle. Let me see. Da, da, da. So this is another thing that's going to be changed. Is that the column? Okay, there. Is going to be fitted a bit better. Okay, so you have everything here. Okay, this is just going to be a little loosey-goosey for now. My plans for Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Eve is with my sister. Day is with Connor's family. So my family and then Connor's family. How do you celebrate it? Do you open your presents on Christmas Eve or day? My cousin's family does it on day, but I open it. Our family opens it on Eve. Midnight? Oh, shoot. Actually, wait. Before I do that, I should make sure this works first. I think that's the thing. We need to make sure that it works before I close it up together, because that would be really awkward. Mm. Cool. There's one of them that's not working, but it should be okay. Okay. You guys get presents. Okay, so one thing to point out is that with the dampened O-ring, while it uses the band, there's also standoffs, so that's what these are for, to help keep everything in place, right? However, for the silicone or the dampened bumper mat, um, I don't see much about it. I wonder if you can use the standoffs with the dampened bumper mat, which would make a little bit more sense, especially for this one. But that's like something I would have to ask the designer. If the standoffs are for both, or is it mainly for O-ring? But I guess I'll ask him. I used to just get cash, never really got gifts. I get gifts. Oh, hello, Ariella. What's up? I mean, yeah. Lunar New Year, we got money. Um, did anyone watch Alex or Clack's build for the board? Both? Do you know if they use standoffs for the dampen mount? That was something that I should have asked the designer. They use it for both? Cause it says you can use it for O-ring, but for the dampen mount, it doesn't mention it. So that's why I'm curious to know, like, if both of them require the um standoffs. Okay, what keycap set should we use with this? Should we use... Clack didn't use them? Did they... Did he have trouble... Did he have trouble... Did they have trouble with this side? Because it's in my review notes that the fitment for this one is going to be a little hard. Okay, I'm thinking either Stargaze or Boneyard, I think would look good with it. You only need them for O-ring, okay. Alex used Boneyard? Okay, so Alex used Boneyard. So should I use Stargaze? You guys are saying these keycaps, but I have my keycap list right there. I don't own all these keycaps. And to look at the keycap list. There's dots. Dual shot? Dual shot could look good on it, yeah. No, I don't. I think Polybus might also be okay. Stargaze, Polybus, or um uh what is it called? Dual shot. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Polybius? Stargaze? Retro Light? Polybius? I don't know. I think I have that on something else. Yeah, it's on a keyboard. Midnight Rainbow? Hmm. Okay, so dual shot or Stargaze? Lavender? Lavender's on a board. Yeah, we can do a poll. Do dual shot or Stargaze? And then for PVT, we can do... Let's do... I have a lot of PVT now. Have you ever looked into Project Ascension? No, what is it? Okay, I'm just gonna flip a coin since I don't have a keyboard. I have to plug in a keyboard. Okay, I will just pick. We're gonna go with Oh, yeah, yeah. Project Ascension is the one where you can like pick your abilities, right? Oh, wait, there is a poll. Okay, vote. You guys vote. I'm gonna go wash my hands because I will on them. I'll be right back. Don't forget to vote. Wait, no, Midnight Rainbow is going to be Stargaze. Oh my god, if it ties, I'm ending the stream. Oh, well. Alright, see you guys later. No, I just won't play Dave afterwards. I'll take away the Dave from you guys instead. No Dave. Which one was winning? It was Stargaze, right? Yeah, we'll grab Stargaze. The hell is going on here? Yeah, they're spamming. Everyone's spamming. They want Dave. Okay. Really? I think one of my favorite Navy sets is Deep Navy. Thanks for the follow. Yeah, Deep Navy. I thought about buying the Rudy Dark Horse space, but I I really slowed down on keycaps. Like, you know how Bingsu? I bought Bingsu and I'm never gonna get it now because I didn't rebuy it. But I fucked up and I rebought Taiga. But I saw Taiga and it looked, I did not like it. You can sell Taiga. I don't know. It's just like the green was not what I thought it would turn out to be. But yeah, you guys didn't tell me that Jay Chow was playing. The heck? How long has Jay Chow been playing? Feng Li Su is really cute. I didn't buy it though. No, we should not listen to it. That sounds awful. That sounds like you want me to cry, be sad. Okay, accent enter or no accent enter? Where did my Stargaze go? Hi Patty. First time in stream, been watching your YouTube stuff. Oh, sorry. Oh, the tuning one, right? Well, welcome to the stream. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Unusual Texas music. First, I like the dark color. Okay, we'll do this. Oh, I'm glad I got honey. It's a shame that there really aren't that many there really aren't that many yellow sets. Not sure what people's experience are using U4Ts. The mods are able to be lopsided. I tried long quest apps, so feeling is very overwhelming. Oh, like it's popping out? like one side just pops up. I actually think I don't use the lat novelties. I think I actually use the where is it? So there's a couple things with that. Is it just the keycap that is like popping up, or is the actual stabilizer coming up as well? And have you tried different keycaps? Because it could be the keycap, the tolerance, but it could also be the stabilizer, the like the housing on it, the stem. GMK Dunes, is that the which vendor is running that? Yeah, Daga, I would suggest swapping out the keycaps and seeing if that's what is causing it. Um, and if it is the keycaps, what you can actually do, or what I've seen some people do, is it's like kind of janky, but if it's like the only keycaps that you have, I've seen some people put saran wrap to kind of help it like hold in place. Um, or you can just swap out the stabilizers for something different, but it depends. It's hard to say what it is. It sounds like it might be the keycap, but if you've tried yeah, but if you've tried different keycaps and it's still doing it, then I would swap out the stabilizer. Dune? Do you guys have a link? Let me see this Dune. Oh, do you think I moved this over here? Went from GMK to Clan Blue, same problem. Then it might be the stabilizer. But if you don't want to swap out the stabilizer because it's like soldered or for whatever reason, then you could try using the saran wrap, but like I said, it's like a little janky, but it's one of those things where it's like it's a fix. Left side? Okay. It is a fix if you don't want to swap out everything. Oh, no, he's asking you. Right? Oh, my Stargaze mirror is right here. Oh. The bean? I don't have the bean. Believe it or not. Crazy, right? No, this is Stargaze. Oh, kind of. It's like a cream, like soya milk. But the navy is like a bit more. So I think that's like my only gripe is that the artisan is like deep navy, but the navy on here is like a little brighter. So I'll show you. So my top down's like a little misleading. So look. So this is more color correct. You see? It's like, it's different. Yeah. Which of the two colors do you prefer? So I think this is a really unique. This one is really unique. This one is more of like the deep navy one. Okay. Alright, you guys ready to listen to a sound test? Also, is Diego streaming right now? Were you guys just joking about that? Is this his? Oh, it's his winter charity. Oh, that was today? I didn't realize that was today. Oh shit. Okay, if there's a giveaway, let me know. What the? I just realized that was today. Okay, here we go. Let's listen to how this sounds. Oh, it's not plugged in. Yeah, Diego's doing a charity thing right now, so a build-a-thon, charity-a-thon. If you don't know Diego, here's my... I would say if there's one person I look up to in terms of resin, it's him. Is there a Stargaze? They never posted the colors for Stargaze? Yeah, it is a little different than what I expected. Not a bad thing, but it's different. Fellow resin fiend, true. Okay. So before I do the typing test, I want to clarify some details. That this is this is the dampened bumper mount. It ran during the time when clones were running amok, yeah. So there's two mounting styles. There's dampened O-ring and dampened bumper mount. I made the mistake earlier of saying the silicone bumper was the foam, and so that's my fault. Apologies. Um, that was a bit of misinformation, but yeah, the silicone insert is actually part of the mounting style, and it's not just like, it's not something like you can go silicone and the O-ring. Just to clarify. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, let's listen to this. Okay, so this is the bumper mount. The dampened bumper mount. Okay, I got it. I got it. Jesus. Okay. Jeez. This is Alu. I just checked my 2023 Twitch recap. You're my most watched streamer. Aw, thank you. I appreciate it. Yes. Bump them out. Yeah, we're gonna try O-ring time. Okay, so I really like it. I'll be honest with you guys. I really like it. Typing is very consistent. As what Potato said, yeah, it's very marbly, right? Um, I like it a lot. Um, I think so. Here's the thing: is I normally don't like alu plates. Um, Definitely with the alu plate, I could feel. Okay, so for those who may or may not know, but I have really soft, I have really weak hands, right? And so, um, I have weak fingers. So the feedback, or like, um, I guess the back force from like alu or like stiff boards in general, I typically don't like, right? But this being an alu plate and typing on it, it actually, my hands don't get as tired as I thought maybe that they might have been, right? And then I think part of that is goes back to the plate with the cuts and how the cuts actually help dampen the vibration. And so it was a pretty consistent and pleasant typing experience in my opinion. Um, and it's interesting because each of the row I think has a very distinct sound instead of being like, sounding all the same. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty cool how that ended up working out. I am sending it back. I'm sending it back. It's not foam. It's not foam. So that's what confused me. No, that's what confused me. So I saw it, but the silicone bumper. No, no. Just don't add foam. They like just don't add the foam part. So the silicone middle part or the silicone insert acts as so it's in place of the foam, but you use it because it's part of the mounting. So all you need to say is bumper mount because you need it. Yeah, it's a silicone bumper. Yeah. So do you see why I was like a little confused? So the silicone bumper that goes in between the plate and the switches is usually where the foam would go, but in this case, the silicone acts as part of the mounting for the board. So I'll show you. I'll show you guys because it's a little confusing. It confused me too. That's what I get for not watching the other streamers. But I actually, if I'm building the same board as another streamer, I I do not like watching it because I don't want them to influence what I say. So when I review my boards, it's all like fresh to me. How do you decide which boards to keep? It's typically dependent on the designer or vendor. So with like more mass-produced boards, I typically get to keep it. So like Zooms, QKs, like cheaper budget. Um, but with like oh, shoot. With these boards that usually have like less than 5 units, I have to send it back. But it depends. And sometimes they will let me keep the board as like payment. But yeah, it just depends. They'll normally tell me like, oh, you can keep it, or you need to send it to the next creator. So, okay. So watch. So you see this bottom part? Because this is friction, from this bottom part, I can push out, take this out. Whoa. Neat. I assumed you got to keep everything. No. I do not get to keep a lot of stuff. I get to keep a decent amount, but usually no. Especially for like especially for like smaller designers. Okay, so the mounting for this, you see how in between is the silicone bumper right here? Or the, let's see, he calls it a bumper, but it's a silicone mat. And it goes in between the switch. So you see how it's right here. So it kind of acts like foam, right? But it's not foam, it's not optional foam because you need this to actually mount the board. So if you look at the PCB, you see how there's like that cut right here, right? So essentially think of it as an O-ring, but the whole O-ring is solid, right? Because you know how you have the O-ring that goes around and it has these curves, and when you put it in the board, the O-ring will like bend and help friction fit and keep it in place. But this is essentially just like a full solid O-ring, right? So you can see right here. This is where this would push in as a friction fit. Yeah, there are standoffs in the bottom, and I'll show you right now. This is a very heavy board, so I need to... So you can see it has the bump-ons. So you have, for standoffs, you have the 3, and then the 3. Yep. Interesting, right? So I made the mistake because I addressed it as like foam because it goes in the place of where foam goes. You're confused? Okay, so you know how like, you know how O-ring goes around the board and it has a standoff? So when you put O-rings in, you put it in like this, and then you would like push the rest in. It's the same thing, except this is just a big silicone piece. So it would still bend in right here and friction fit in. So instead of the O-ring going on only the outside, this one goes on the entire thing. Yeah. Yeah, so there's two mountings. There's the silicone bumper mount, which is what I did, and there's O-ring. But the O-ring is interesting because there's actually standoffs to make sure everything stays in place. Yeah, so it's dual mounted. The mountings are very similar, but also a bit different. How does the cool texture feel? It's really neat. It's kind of interesting because what they did is they sprayed it and then they baked it to get this texture. Yeah, so they powder coated it and then they baked it to create this wrinkle. And then you have this neat texture. Baked, yeah. Okay, so this is the hard part, because the the plate is a little tight. It's gonna be changed for the production round because this plate was Cerakoted, but the plate for the production run is going to be anodized. So to change mounts, you have to disassemble everything. Yes. Thumbs are getting to work out, yeah. Do you guys notice I got a new switch puller? Or keycap puller? Sometimes I feel bad about these reviews because everything starts to blend together. Oh boy. Oh no, this is going to be rough. We do the easy ones first. So we're gonna keep the good switches in here because we know they'll fit in the plate. This is Stargaze. GMK Stargaze by Dandy. I'm me still recovering from my very first build and low-key horrified at the thought of immediately unbuilding. Yeah. I mean, unbuilding is an experience. I think the worst thing is when you build a keyboard and then you realize, because you didn't check your stabilizer, that it's backwards and you've already fully assembled the board. And then you have to go back and redo everything. Yeah. Fatty? Yes. Stop attacking me? I mean, we've all been there. We've all been there. It's like a rite of passage. I have built a keyboard on stream and I didn't check the stabs and it was a solder build and the stabilizers were working but it was ticking and it was ticking really bad and like this was before I learned how to like tune my stabilizers and it was awful because oh, so you know with the stabilizer housing when they're like put the two holes in like a certain way, you can actually put it in backwards and then the stabilizer won't even move up or down. So that's what I meant. So you install the stabilizers incorrectly so that it doesn't even move. Yeah, so with the stem and the stabilizer, there's two holes on one side and then one hole on the other side. So with the two holes, the wire goes in the bottom one and then it lifts it up, right? And then the part where it's lifting up is the hole in the back where you can see it. So let me show you. So you see how this has two holes, 1, 2, right? On the stem, kind of hard to see. So you put it in the bottom hole and then this lifts it up, right? Oh shoot. And you can actually see how this has one hole in the back and that's where the wire lifts up on, right? But if you install it incorrectly and you put the big hole in the front like this, and then you put this in, which it lets you assemble it like this, mind you. Like you can assemble it like this, but look, it won't even move. Like no matter how much I move it, it won't even move. And then you look at this side and you see how it does move? Here, so you see how the stem's going up and down? That's how you know you installed it correctly. But if it doesn't move, that means you installed it incorrectly. So have you done a type test on stream with Gamma not realizing there was a bent pin and they get flamed after? No, but I've done a typing test where I had music playing and then I get yelled at in chat that there's music playing. Chan says I check stabilizer function before proceeding. Yeah, because with screw-in stabilizers, once you've installed the switches on the plate, if you want to change your stabilizer, you have to take it all off. So if you mess up your stabilizers, or if you don't check it, and in the event that you did like mess it up, you have to take it all apart, right? It's not a good experience. And then like, you know, once you get comfortable, you're just like, oh, I don't need to check it. And then it's like the one time you don't check it, it's bad. Yeah, it is a pain. But it's even more painful if you've soldered everything together. If everything is completely soldered and you have to desolder everything. Literally, you have to desolder everything. That's why plate stabilizers are good for that, because they rest on the plate so you can take them off without having to take it all apart. But plate stabilizers suck, in my opinion. You really have to like mod them. IMO. Yeah. Thank God for Berber gun. Yeah, but even still, it's like, you know. The good old Winky solder bill is Winkyless. Yeah, I've done that too. And people don't like plateless because they say it feels too mushy. I love plateless. They came out with plate mount stabilizers. Dang. Yeah, I'm a plateless king myself. I don't think it feels mushy. I think it depends. it feels good on the doll. Half plate is good, yeah. If I would go plateless, half plate, and then plate. Oh, you like cipher mods, yeah. That makes sense. And yeah, half plate's probably good for you. So you like softer alphas then? Okay. So now we take this off. You know what? Stinky. Did I say that right? I think you're supposed to put the standoffs on both. Because there's the standoff cutouts. So it makes me think that you should use it on both. Stinky? Okay. I wasn't sure if it was stink, yeah. So, yeah, you're supposed to use it for both. Did I tell you guys a story with Ginkgo and Connor yesterday? So funny. Actually, so funny. Oh, in my opinion. So, we went on a walk and I told Connor, I was like, yo, did you know that Ginkgo knows her name? Stink Eye or Stinky? Yeah. Okay, it's just Stinky. And I told Connor that Ginkgo knows her name and she also knows her nicknames. And he was like, I don't think so. I think it's just like the tone of your voice. You know, she hears a certain tone and then she knows you're talking to her, right? And I was like, I'm serious. Like, I will, I'll say like with all the cats in the room, including her, and I'll go like, baby. And then she'll like look up and be like, oh, you're talking to me, right? But I'll say like another cat's name and she won't move because she knows I'm not talking to her, right? Um, so yeah, it is my egg tart. So he goes, no, I'm pretty sure it's just like the tone of your voice that she recognizes, right? And I'm telling him like, no, I'm serious. Like she knows her name. So he goes. So I tell him, I said, seriously, like just call her by a random name. Like call her Margaret in the same tone you would say her name, right? So we're walking, walking, walking. So he goes, Margaret. Like no, there's no one around us. Like it's just us. She's not phased. She just keeps walking, right? And then I was like, okay, now I'll say her name. So then he goes, Ginkgo. She snaps her head back, like just like boom. Like what? Like it was like no hesitation. Like we went, Margaret, nothing. Ginkgo, boom. Like what? So we gave her a lot of pets because we were like, oh my gosh, like so good, like you responded to your name. But he's just like, okay, so that means all the time we call her name and she just like doesn't pay attention to us, like she's just straight up ignoring us. I was like, yeah, that's just how Shibas are. Like if she's not gonna benefit in any way, why would she respond to us? Yeah. it was really funny because he's just like, all right, Ginkgo, you just you just fucked me because you know, out of all the times I call your name, why do you pick this time to like respond? That's so cute. Okay, so in terms of standoffs, so you have one, two, three, four, five, six. The placement of the standoffs are a little interesting. Um, but apparently with the standoffs, it still shouldn't affect how the O-ring feels. Yeah. Uh, we've reevaluated this mounting style and placed the standoff so that the rubber band is evenly positioned all around. O-ring mounted boards so far only relied on the switches to position the rubber band, resulting in less pressure in some of the corners. And that's why you have to use the clip-in stabilizers, because you have an O-ring. Not all O-rings will use plate, or not all O-rings will use clip-ins, but it depends on the O-ring style. I hope you guys like this sponsored thing I made. I showed it to my mods because I got self-conscious, but I did like put thought into it and I hope it seems like natural. I'm pretty nervous. You loved it? I tried to go the more comedic route. You think so? I don't know. I'm nervous about it. I think I'm just always nervous. Better at this than you think. I don't know about that. I think short form content is really hard for me because there's like so much I want to say, and to condense it all is tough. Be confident. Okay. I knew it couldn't be me. Insty? Honestly, same, but I think guys are kind of stinky sometimes. Sorry, guys. These are a little stinky. True, yeah. I'm hurt. It's okay. I mean, you guys just need to embrace it, okay? Just embrace the stinky. It happens to us all. But mostly guys. Have I seen how they x-ray hedgehogs? Yeah, they have to like... They literally have to tape them flat. They have to spread out their arms and legs. Yeah, you can send it. Yeah. Should work. Can you put on a song request? Sure. What is it that you request? No, I don't do it alright tonight. Have we added this? I don't know. I don't even pay attention to my emotes. My 7TV emotes. Half the time I'm like, what the hell is that emote? I see Cuppo in here adding emotes in the middle of the night. What is this? What the? I was tired that day. I was tired. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Oh, so they can't contract it, right? I had hedgehogs. I had two. You know, they say if you play 3 K-pop songs in a row, that's how you summon Vin. Actually, I'm gonna put the bottom ones first. If you run 2 lats together, he comes to your house. True. Actually, that doesn't really matter because of the plate fork. I mean, because of the standoffs. Wait, I know this singer. The chick, not the dude. I don't know who the dude is. Who's Chan? Yeah, I know he's. Or, I said it wrong. I know her. The dude, I have no idea. You know, I was complaining about the Yu Hakusho live action because I watched the first episode. And I'm gonna complain to you guys about it again because I think it's a travesty, but how could they make the ugliest character in the anime the hottest? And then supposedly the hottest the ugliest? How could they modernize Kuwabara's hairstyle and then meanwhile give Kurama like a freaking cheap cosplay wig? Yeah, it just released on Netflix. Like all the budget went into Kuwabara's plastic surgery to make him look good. Like, I don't get it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making a ugly character hot, but you can't make the hot characters look like that. That's like a travesty. My cousin is stronger than me because she actually watched like multiple episodes. I got so pissed off about Hiei and Kurama that because they show up at the end of the first episode, I like got so pissed off. I was like, I can't watch this right now. I have to like mentally prepare myself. What are you doing research? So I have actually never watched One Piece like all through. So I don't really have like as much of a detachment to One Piece. I know some of the characters, but I I definitely would not say like I'm a One Piece like fan, right? And so I watched the live action and I thought it was fine, but wait, in Yu Yu Hakusho or yeah, right? Like they did they did some of them really like Kurama and Hiei. Like Yusuke and Kuwabara, they actually did a pretty good job, I would say. But the other two just look so, you know. I have a Hiei figurine in my car. They did them dirty? That's what I'm saying. Right? How could they do that to the fandom? Like, you can make Kuwabara hot, but you gotta make Hiei and Kurama hot too. Like, I legitimately think I could have styled Kurama better than they could have to make him at least look somewhat of a semblance of how he should in the anime. Like it feels like they just used a cheap wig. So with Kuwabara, I'm assuming they just like updated the pompadour hairstyle so it kind of fits more in with modern time. But like they just like ran out of budget for Kurama and Hiei. And it's just like, okay, well, we got $5. Let's buy these $5 wigs. Good enough. So there's that. So here's the thing with live actions is that I honestly don't care if they change the story. Because if they change the story, it's kind of like, I already had one story version, so if you change it, it's something different, like that's cool because like at least I have like more time with like a character that I really like, right? Because it's like something new, something fresh, but I think you cannot mess up on the character design because at that point it's like I don't know, it's like you have to watch the entire season with this character that looks nothing like how they should look like, and at that point it's just like not it's just not the same. Maybe I sound like extremely shallow for saying all these, but I don't know. It's just I think yeah, I just think that this is like my favorite anime, and they did the characters dirty. Yeah, yeah. Love Yuki, I'm not. What is that? I say I like Yu Hakusho, and then people are like, Hunter x Hunter is way better. I'm like, bro, I don't think so. Do I like Hunter x Hunter? I do. But is it better than Yu Hakusho? No. Oh my god. Miso took a. Ugh. Why? Why? Why do you do this? I shouldn't bury it, but the other cat is going in there right now, so hopefully. Hunter x Hunter is going lower my anime list every year at this point. Why? Oh, did you? Someone didn't pick up? I hate dog poop so much. Worst thing on this whole earth? Think so? Yeah, I have an automatic litter box. Okay, I so as you guys may or may not know, I like really weird looking bags. Like not like weird, but I like unique bags, I should say. So like yeah, so there's some mimicry. Yeah, so like my whale bag. Um and I also have like a milk carton bag, and I have like a lucky cat bag. I have a puffball bag. Um so basically I like unique bags, right? And there's this uh maker that I follow on Instagram who made this like really cute like takoyaki bag, and they make custom bags. Like you can request like a custom bag, right? And they made this like really cute fish bag, and they were so cute. I wanted it. Um, but they're charging $300 for it. Uh, and I was kind of like, that would probably be like the most expensive bag that I own if I were to buy it. But I looked around and I found another company that makes like something similar, and I think I'm gonna get it. It's really, really cute, and I'll link it for you guys so you can see. But it's like a tuna bag. It's cute, right? Like if you look at the entirety of the website, it's so cute. So I think I'm about to buy this tuna bag. Fish bag? Yeah, I have a whale bag, but this is like a crossbody, which I like. Yeah, in case you guys have fish lovers in your life, it's a very cute bag. In my opinion, good for fish lovers. Dave lovers, yeah. Fried chicken fillet? I actually saw there's a fried chicken ice cream. A viral fried chicken ice cream. My grandpa gave me a giant fish pillow when I was little, like a body pillow. I if I ever had like spare money just to spend on random shit, I would get one of those like singing like fishes and then programming it to like say like thank you, blah 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 for the follow. It'd be my fish alert. Sounds fishy, yeah. It'd be really cute though. Okay. Now we have the O-rings. Okay. So here you have the O-rings. I just have to be a little careful with it because this one is super glued. Production unit will not be super glued. So hopefully this does not snap. Okay, we're good. So let's see, how do I want to do this? Put this right here. Grab this. Earthquake just happened. Are you okay? I mean, you must be okay if you didn't feel anything. The O-rings for the group buy will be black, by the way. What did Sammy win? Thanks, I'll follow. One of one kiwi? What do you mean one of one kiwi? Oh, Diego's cat. Oh, I thought you were talking about Kiwi King, and I was like, what about him? What about Kiwi? Oh, that's a super. Okay, so this one goes up here. Oh yeah, cool. I actually think it's better to push this out first. Put this in. It's easier. Adjective. Hello, Booba. Hello. How are you two doing tonight? Okay, cool. Is it tough to put the O-ring? So it takes a little bit of finagling for sure. I think part of it is that so the first part of it is that the cables are going to be adjusted, but because of this bottom part, it's easy to push the board past it, like right here, because you can push this part past it, right? And so it's kind of finding the right balance of how far to put it in the bottom before putting it on the top. But once you kind of find that, then it's not that bad. I think it just like takes practice. But you just want to make sure not to put it too far in on the bottom because it can actually just like push out. And then I think once the wires are fixed so that it's a more appropriate length, then you don't have to really worry about them getting stuck. But yeah, when you're putting in the O-ring, you just want to be careful not to slide it all the way into the bottom. Oh yeah, you like it? I think having the standoffs in place, at least for the O-ring, is really nice. I'd say probably not necessary for the silicone, but definitely for the O-ring, it was really nice. Boom. Oh, okay, let's make sure. Cool. Okay. my IEMs off. I think next year I'm gonna try and go to Taiwan. I haven't been back in like years. Hey cousin, yeah. Freaking Avo? What, did he win a giveaway? Hi, Lamp. I don't have my drink in here with me. What did you win? How are you doing today? Babylon. What the? Dude, I was winning so many keyboards. I literally went from 1 to like 4. Hello, Eve. Diego is doing a charity slash build-a-thon. I like feel myself fading fast. Today was my cousin's birthday, and I went and got barbecue and spent the day with her, and then we got dinner. It was nice. I love my cousin a lot. I tend to be, how do I say it? I tend to be very, like, NPC energy. As in, like, I don't really talk to people unless they talk to me first, in terms of, like, just, like, socializing. Sometimes, like, I won't just be like, hey, what's up? But I also feel like, I can be that type of friend where you don't have to talk to me every single day. Like, you can talk to me, like, once a week, and I'll still think, like, oh, we're friends, right? Of course, not everyone is like that, but, I would say I'm lower maintenance. But I guess it depends. But I would say for the most part, I'm pretty low maintenance when it comes to my friendships. Which can be bad in the sense of, like, I try to be thoughtful when it comes to, like, gifts, but sometimes it's really hard because, like, while I want to buy all my friends gifts, I know there are some people where, like, if they don't get a gift from me, they think I hate them. Or or they'll, like, get me gifts and hope that I get them gifts in exchange. I don't know. Like, I don't want to say, like, transactional, but it's kind of like that expectation of, like, you know, I bought you a gift and you didn't buy me one, right? There's some people that just like gift giving, and I feel like I have some reservations because like that's how my sister is, right? Like she just expects you to give her a gift, right? And there's nothing wrong with that except for when there is something wrong with that. Um but it's one of those things where like if I don't get her a gift for like her birthday or Christmas one year, like she'll remember it for like 10 years, right? The thing is like I I'm afraid of giving gifts sometimes because what if they don't like it? Whereas like if I see something that I'm like, oh, I think this person would genuinely like this, then that feels good. But if it's just for the sake of giving gifts, like for a holiday, and then I have to like think really hard about it, then I'm just like, oh my god, my head hurts. But yeah, I struggle a lot with that. Sometimes it makes me wonder, like, um, why is it so hard for me sometimes to like think about gifts that people would like? But then it's like, is it because I don't know them? Or like, what is it? You know? And sometimes it's hard because I feel like I really need to know a person well enough to just like assume getting them something is what they would like. I don't know. I think I just like get into my head about it. Alright, but let's listen to how this sounds. Okay, this is O-ring mount. Okay, you like O-ring Tussler, do you? What did you all think? What are your thoughts? Hold on. Yeah, we did it. Cordal posted it. Thank you, Cordal. Thank you, Capo. That's okay. I like the look of it more than it sounds. You can tell a lot of effort was put into design. Pretty nice. I can't decide which one I like more. Okay, so let's talk about the differences of the board. Okay, so now that we've built it and now that we have an idea of how everything works, right? Let me just put on my tool preference. I like the it's hard to say, but I think I like the dampened bumper mount a bit more. Yeah, just a little bit more. But yeah, we can talk about it. All right, so for those who don't know, or may already know, this is the event horizon. This is currently in raffle until it's open until December 25th, right? The mounting style is very switch dependent. Yeah, I didn't try different switches, so maybe I should. Oh, Clack, I had a question. Did you use the standoffs with the bumper mount? I wasn't sure if the standoffs was for both. I didn't use it for the bumper, but later on, once I looked at the silicone, I noticed that it had the cutouts for the bumper. And so it's not necessary? Okay, alright, cool. I didn't use it, but I did use it for O-ring. Yeah. Okay, but yeah, this is the event horizon. So the raffle is currently open until the 25th. This is the event horizon colorway. So as you can see, it is a two-toned, dual textured board, right? So you have the inner part, which is the powder coated and baked piece. And then you have this top piece that is brushed and then treated with a coating, right? So there's two tones looking from the top. Oh, I guess speaking of the top, and then you also have these that have been CNC'd into the case. And this kind of gives the board, at least the front of it, like a bit more personality because it is thicker right here, right? And when I was talking to the designer, he said he did this because it's based off like a Krispy Kreme board that he designed for fun. And so they just decided to add this. Here's a side. So here you can see this part that was treated. And then you can't see the silver part. It's like very, very very, very slim right here. Like it's pretty much non-existent if you look at it from the side. You only really see it from the top side. Here you have the back weight. So pretty hefty back weight is ingrained, and you can see there's a lot of screws and a lot of feet, right? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. You have 10 screws on the back to keep this together, and then you have 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 feet on the board, right? This has been revamped from what it was before, and this is the final-ish design. The only thing that is going to be changing is what it says on the screw, because right now it says protozoa, but that's actually going to be swapped to, what did he say it's going to be swapped to? It's going to say MVKPX protozoa, PRTZ. So this board is a collaboration between 3 names. So you have MVKB, Max Volti, you have Salvin, and you have also Protozoa. Although there is a 4th party involved, and it is the person who did, or I guess the company? I don't know what to call them, but they did do the coding, and the coding is by B coding, right? So In total, this is a collaboration between 4 different designers or vendors to kind of create this board that's been 2 years in the making. That's pretty neat. But yeah, here you'll see MVKB, Protozoa, and then Salvin. Here's the USB port side. So just use daughter board. The lower centered USB port. Oh yeah, Yankar designed the PCB, yeah. So 5. I have a Wilba bag, but it's not by Wilba. It's by Yankar. And then here is the front. The front lip, I should say. So this is the Event Horizon colorway, but there's also a Supermassive, and that one is going to be all brass, or mainly brass. The main differences between the finishes is that, so you see how this has like the black finish? So that one is going to have a gold finish. So it's going to have the dark gold wrinkle. This is the black wrinkle. Also, the finish on this top piece is brushed, but the finish on the Supermassive is going to be perlage, or I guess he put perillage top. So it's kind of like what you see sometimes in like watch designs, right? But instead of just like this brush top, this one you're gonna see. Here, I'll just show the picture. It's probably a lot better. I'll just show the website in general so we can browse it so you guys kind of know what you're gonna be looking at. Okay, so this is basically how the finish on the Supermassive is going to look like, right? So it basically takes this tool, does a circle, moves over a little bit, and does it, right? So here you can actually click on all these to see what it looks like, but here you can see the design. So that's what I meant for the finishing on the top part. So this is the website, it's in the build command, but if you want to fill out the raffle, it is right here. Here is like an introduction to the board, and then here's a breakdown of everything that you can find on this website. So I mentioned this earlier, but it's basically a board about, and the theme that it follows is that there's a lot of contrast. So he mentions it here, but dark versus light, texture versus smooth, raw materials versus coating. Let's see. As for the name, an event horizon is defined as a boundary beyond which events cannot affect an observer. This has been in the works for quite a while, so yeah. Here's all the pricing. So open till December 25th. Supermassive, 50 units, and it starts at 890. And then Event Horizon, which is 250 units, starts at 490, right? So it's a total of 300 units between the Supermassive and the Horizon. And obviously the Supermassive is going to be a huge jump, but just based on like how they CNC and design the board. I mean, it's all brass, right? But here you can see this is everyone who's involved. So the designer is MVKB, the production design is Protozoa, machining is done by Salvin, coding is B-coding, and PCB is by Yankart. And the reason they put PCBs is because the PCBs are actually separate, and we'll kind of get into that. But here he also has like the process of how it's done. So I'll kind of do a quick summary. But basically they machine out the top part, and then the board is flipped over, and then machine out the bottom part. And then the board gets transported to B-coding, who does the powder coating on the bottom part, and then they bake it to get the wrinkle, to get the black wrinkle, right? And then the board is, after coating settled, board is gently placed back into the CNC. And then this is the process of basically revealing the two-tone look and the dotted chin from the piece on top, right? There is a chamfer that is really, really thin. I'll try to show you guys, but there is a chamfer to avoid the sharp edges because the designer actually said that he cut himself because it was that sharp. But then afterwards, the board is taken back and it's there's clear coating applied. All right. So it is a very like complicated process, and that's part of the reason why there's a lot of steps involved. So that's why it's priced the way it is. I really like that the way he did this. You got the top, the front lip, the back, the USB port, and the side. Yeah, it's a really nice website, right? And then has all the specs right here. So as you can see, the super massive version, brass top, brass bottom, right? Everything is like brass, pretty much. Alu, stainless steel. Okay. And then here kind of gets into the specs of the board. So it is a 65% with a XT column. The PCBs are separate, but this macro column is connected to the main PCB. Okay, and then there's going to be hot swap and solder. So you do have a choice, right? Looks like this cube has raised its standard. I mean, a lot of work was. This is more like an artwork, I would say. There's like all the details, but here is what I would say is like the more important stuff is the mounting style. So I kind of misunderstood what it was, but I'm glad we were able to clarify. But essentially, you have two mounting styles. You have the dampened O-ring, which is the last one that we did. So each of the PCBs gets its own O-ring. So this main 65% part gets an O-ring, and then the XT column, the 4 keys, also gets its own O-ring, right? And then there's also standoffs that they're actually not uniform. They're not placed uniformly across the plate on the PCB. Instead, the placement of the standoffs, they say it's place the plate standoff so the rubber band is evenly positioned. So they move the positioning of the standoffs to what they say makes the rubber band like evenly positioned. You do have to use clip-in stabilizers because it is O-ring, right? But this is why they say, so O-ring mounted boards have relied on the switches to position the rubber bands, right? And that's why like they'll say don't use gummy O-ring with like hot swap, because if you use an O-ring, especially if you're trying to take it out, the corner switches have a lot of tension and it could just like pop out, right? I mean, of course it depends on like the tension of the O-ring, but with the standoffs, this hopefully takes some of that pressure off from there. And then the second one you have is the dampened bumper mount. So essentially you have a silicone piece, right, that he named the bumper, and it acts as like a sandwich between the plate and PCB, as he says here. So essentially think of where you would put the plate foam. It's interesting because it acts as both like foam and structure between the PCB and the plate, but it also acts as a mount, right? It contributes to how it is mounted within the board. And the reason why they say it's dampened instead of bumper mount is because there are cuts within the plates wherever the mounting points are. So there's 3 up top, 3 on the bottom. So these 3, if I remember correctly, are evenly spread, but then these at the bottom, so it's like 1 here, 1 here, 1 here, but this is not evenly spread, but it is still 3 and 3. So the dampen, essentially wherever there are the standoffs, on the plate there are cuts. Oh, have a good night. I'm just rambling right now. I'm trying to like walk everyone through this so they kind of know what they're looking at if they're interested. Um, but yeah, so there are gaps in the plate, and it says, which allow the sandwich to fully dampen vibrations, right? Here's everything that you get in the box, right? Do, 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 do. But yeah, this is good info. But yeah, and so here it tells you what you need. That's really neat. That is something that as a beginner in the hobby, I would always have to Google, and I still do, like, how many keys in a 65%? How many keys do I need for this 75%? And the fact that like they tell you you need 70 for hot swap, and if you can add more if you need, right? Instead of like having to go and look myself and like count, especially when it has like extra keys. Like I would just like I would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know. Yeah, I would count because I would just be like, well, let me make sure, right? Because the last thing you want to do is not have enough switches. But in terms of extras, I used Alu, but there's gonna be Alu or FR4. But default it comes with Alu. Da-da-da. Yeah. So there's kind of a twist on both of these, right? Because while you have like your typical O-ring mount, there's an additional step added where you have the standoffs, right? And then for the dampened bumper mount, it acts as a sandwich, but the way that the silicone or bumper is uh, involved, it's almost like this is why I thought it was like foam at first. It almost acts as like a foam, but not quite because it's involved in the mounting, right? But both do rely on friction, and I would say the bumper mount was a lot easier for me to assemble. The O-ring was a little bit more hard, and that's because of how the bottom is CNC'd. So let me show you what I mean by that. Okay, so this piece is one piece, right? So you have the back weight, you have your main keyboard, PCBs, and then here is your silicon, and then here's your plate, right? So the daughter board goes on the back of this, which is hidden by the weight. But at the bottom right here, it's really nice, right? Because it is friction fit, but there are some boards that are friction fit where you kind of have to use like tweezers, or you kind of have to like pull it like a certain way to like lift it out. But the way that this is designed is that while you're trying to friction fit in and you're trying to get it out, this backing is opened so you can actually just like push it out from the back. So I'll show you what it means. I'll show you guys what that means. It's probably easier to show you. Please hold, there's a lot of screws. But it'll be a lot easier for me to show you guys. Hi Snoopy, what's up? Okay. Here. So I'd say overall, this board, it's a very hefty board, right? But I feel like you can definitely tell how much thought has gone into it. Like it's an expensive board. Like let's be real, it is expensive, especially the Supermassive. But I would say this is more like a functional art piece, just based on like how it looks and also like the design, right? I did ask if I did ask for some if some parts, like if it was a design choice, Was it like a quality of life thing? But it's a mix of both, right? Like you would think some of the designs like it's all like functional, but um, that's not the case. It just like looks cool. But there are some parts of this board that are intentionally designed like that. Yeah, so like the screws. Oh, hello, Phoebe. I will say assembling the O-ring was a little bit harder for me. The silicone bumper was a lot easier. Okay, but you would see like right here, you would be like, okay, how do I take this O-ring out, right? And normally you would try to like lift right here, or you would use something to help like leverage it, right? But here's the neat thing. Because this part is cut out, from here you can actually just push it out. So, boom. So you don't have to do anything weird, right? Oops. But here's the thing that I struggled with, right? The thing I struggled with is because there is this hole, right? Because normally when you friction fit in, right, like you could just go put it straight down, but then sometimes it's like a little hard. So when it comes to O-ring, like I like to, you know, go one side and like, you know, slowly leverage it in. But the issue, what is this? What is the tension from? Oh, right here. Okay. But the issue with doing that here is that, you know, normally you would push this all the way in like this and then put it in. The issue with that is that if you go too far, look, it protrudes out from the bottom case, which is not ideal, right? So that's why I said O-ring was a little harder for me to assemble. You kind of have to find like that right balance. So once you kind of find it, then you can like put it in. So let's say it's like right here. Oop. It does take a little bit of finagling, and that's why I'd say it's a little harder to assemble. But you see, once you find it, and then it just kind of stops, and you know, like, okay, that's good. And then you can check the back. Hi, Barrett. But yeah. Also, so here's the back weight off. You can see this is where the daughter board is. So this is the main one, and then this one is to the side, right? And even this, because it has a separate PCB, even this has the cutout included, right? So you can just push it out like, boom. Oh, wait, not like that. But yeah, you can just push it out like that. And then from here, you can, this side is much easier to position in, right? Like that. But yeah, this entire middle piece, you can see has been powder coated and baked right here. And then these are the JST channels. And look, there's teeth included, or not teeth, but there is a little protrusion right there, and that's to help you clamp the cable in place if needed, right? So some changes that will be seen in the production run, but that aren't present here. I was given a list. This board has grown on me a lot, yeah. That's a good quality of life, yeah. So essentially, as you guys may or may not have seen, but when I was building it, the plate was extremely tight. The switches were extremely tight in the plate, and that's because the plate that I had was Cerakoted. However, in the production unit, the plates will be anodized. So hopefully there's not the fitment issues when it comes to the switches being tight on the plate. The O-rings you see here are blue, but the final will be black. And you'll get two O-rings. You'll get a main O-ring for the main PCB, and then you'll get a smaller O-ring for the XT column. The screws that are on the back, which you may or may not see, right now it says Protozoa on there, but it will be abbreviated to MVKBXPRTZ, which is abbreviation, or it's like a collaboration with the two. And then another thing that I struggled with is that the silicon piece for the XT column was really hard for me to put in, right? Hammer, thank you for the raid! However, he's aware this is an issue and that these will be tweaked a little bit for a better fit, right? And then the other thing is that the cables will be adjusted. Thank you for the raid, Hammer! I appreciate it! Hello! I'm just going over like the final reviews for this board. It's a really pretty board. It is 300 max. So it's 250 for Event Horizon, and then 50 for Supermassive. Yeah. And it closes on the 25th. Fancy weight, yeah. Hi, Better Seeds. In terms of typing on it, I will say that I think the silicon felt more consistent, right? And I felt like with the silicon, the sound was also more consistent, or consistent compared to O-ring. Yeah, I preferred the silicon. I know some of you may have preferred the O-ring, but personally I liked the silicon, or the bumper mount. That is a cool weight design. Yeah, it's actually changed quite a bit from how it was from the start. Very sci-fi Shivanti. So I actually asked the designer, like, why did you add the holes in the front, right? And he was like, I guess basically the front looked kind of boring, and so he remembered a Krispy Kreme board he had designed with the Krispy Kreme box having all the dots, right? To fill up like the negative space on the box, and he just thought it would look cool. He actually sent me a picture of it. No step caps on hot sauce, yeah. Well, it's it is like the space theme, but it's just so happens for this part. No, it just so happened this part was based on that. But I can show you all the pictures that he sent me. So here is the pictures he sent me. Oh wait, where's the Krispy Kreme? I have Avo's fish pillow. I see his fish pillow. He sent me a bunch of photos for the inspiration, or like what it started out as and then how it evolved. So if you look here, Okay. So, front lip, he was like, well, I made this Krispy Kreme board. Let me do the same thing that I did here. Right? And so that's where this part comes in. This is what the board started out as, right? So here you still see the two-toned, but this is not wrinkled. And then here you can see that this is the smooth part, whereas in the final version, this is changed to the wrinkled. So it's come a long way from this. This is more of like the final version, but you could see that, this part is like a little plain-ish. But here he has like this logo, and then here was the back weight before. So before there were the 4 little feet right here, but it's a very hefty board, right? So decided to add more feet. And then from there, the back weight just kind of like evolved into what it is now. Yeah. And then this is more of like the final version. Neat, right? And then I didn't show you guys this because it's like, it's really like, it's really hard to notice, but this edge right here, he said it used to be really, really sharp. So they cut it, and I don't know if you can see it. You see, it's a very tiny. They basically shaved off the side a little bit so that the edges aren't like super sharp, like right here. So you could do this without like cutting yourself. MJ, thank you for the resub. I appreciate it. Welcome back. I know it's really really hard to see, but it is a 0.5 mm chamfer. And that was incorporated so that no one cuts their fingers. Can you see that chamfer right there? 0.5 mm chamfer. Right there. It is very subtle. But yeah. Crazy. Crazy. Here's the back. But yeah. I mean, that's the build, I'd say. Thank you, Max, for sending it out and letting me build it.